Bye. She's sicky.
All right. Hey, besties. We're back at it again. It's been a rough couple weeks. We're trying our very hardest to make this a priority for us right now. But we're so glad you could join us today. Me and Madison are looking a little rough. We've had some rough days. Please, no judgment. But if you are going to judge us, at least message us your judgments because I love to know what you guys think of how I look right now.
Yeah.
Me and Madison, unfortunately, would love for this to be our full-time job, but it does not pay our bills. So we both just got off a sick 11-hour shift at work. But we wanted to make sure that we had time to get on and record and have fun with each other at least once this week because I've kind of been a little MIA recently. So
Just a little bit. Alrighty. Well, so we have a kind of a fun idea today that we wanted to talk about. I was a little bit inspired by seeing some stuff on Pinterest about bucket lists and goals and aspirations. And so today, Kaleigh and I are going to be ranking our top 5 bucket list travel locations. So we're going to start with 5th and work our way up to number 1. Now, if you are watching us on YouTube, comment below your top 5 bucket list places. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Anchor FM, DM us on Instagram at dearbestfriend_MK. We would love to hear where all of you guys want to travel. And we can, chat about that. So coming in at number 5 on my list is Japan. So I want to go to Japan so bad because my dad did some mission work there back in the 90s. And so my dad speaks Japanese and he just talks about it so highly. Like he just loves it so much. And he just tells me all the time about how like when the cherry blossoms bloom in the spring, it's like the most beautiful thing to be like seated on like the coast where the beach is and just to have like the cherry blossoms flying by. So I've always wanted to go to Japan, especially with my dad, because I want to be able to like see it through his eyes. And he just like talks so highly about the people and the culture and just kind of everything. But I also kind of want to go during New Year's because during New Year's in Japan, it's like a 3 or 4 day event. Like it is a full blown, like big old party. And I just think that would be really fun. So I would love to go to Japan.
are you telling me that you want to take a little trip over there with me and my dad? Because my dad really wants to go back to Japan because he was a military baby. And so he lived in Japan for a couple of years when he was younger. And he used to tell us about how he'd like take his sister's dolls up on the high rise and like chuck them off the high rise. And he talks about Japan all the time and how much he'd love to go back.
Yeah. Can we just like take like a daddy-daughter trip and just like go over to Japan? My dad can be our translator and we can just like have such a good time.
My dad's absolute favorite food in the world is sushi.
Same for me and my dad. So I just, like you haven't had sushi until you've had sushi in Japan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can get kind of close in the Pacific Northwest in the United States to good sushi, but there's just like, my dad just tells me all the time, he's like, there's something different about the sushi in Japan.
I am very spoiled to live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. So living the last 2 years in landlocked Idaho has been literally such a struggle for me that every time I come home to visit, we always go out and get sushi because I'm a very spoiled person with my sushi.
I love sushi. I make my own. Like that was one of the quarantine things that me and my dad picked up was one, when we were in quarantine at the beginning of COVID, my dad started doing Japanese on Duolingo again to kind of freshen up. He has not missed a day. When I tell you this man has like 700 something day streak. I mean it. Like my dad's crazy, but he started that. And then I was like, "Ooh, dad, we should like order these like sushi making like bamboo mats and stuff and kits off of Amazon." And he was like, "Oh, that'd be great." So then we did, and we learned how to make sushi, and it was so fun. We got my whole family involved. Once they saw like me and my dad make them, they were like, "Oh my gosh, we want to do that too." And so like literally my whole family just like sat down and made sushi together, and it was so great.
Yeah, we literally got my dad a sushi making kit for his birthday
Yes.
1 year, and so it's been an adventure. But okay, so I think my number five, coming
Mhm.
in at number five for Kaleigh, is gonna be Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
PR. Mostly just because I don't know, I think it'd be so fun to go to, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. And funny enough, guess whose aunt owns a house in Puerto Rico, because that's where she's moving after she retires.
Yours, I'm guessing.
They're in the middle of renovating it right now, and knowing my aunt, that means it's going to be somewhat the most it can be perfect.
Well, when she's done with it, can we like hop, skip, jump, stay in the house and go on vacation there?
Probably my uncles already have.
Amazing. Amazing. I would also
So
love to go to Puerto Rico.
like beep boop 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 boop. April, how you feel about two responsible adults crashing at your house? Okay, sounds good. It
Yeah,
sounds like a yes to me.
I like have wanted to go to Puerto Rico since becoming like really like loving In the Heights and West Side Story and just like Lin-Manuel Miranda in general, like he's Puerto Rican and a lot of his shows are inspired by Puerto Ricans who've moved to New York, and like I just love that. And it like
Yeah.
I feel like Puerto Rico would be really, really beautiful to
I-
go and like explore and stuff. So coming in at number 4 for Maddie is France. Now, I want to go to Paris. I've been told time and time again that Paris people are mean
I've also
and
heard it's
it's
overrated and it's kind of
it's
a dicky city.
dirty. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I've heard that it's dirty,
dirty city, and I'm like,
but like there's also something so like I don't know magical about like I've seen pictures of like Paris streets and like the apartments with the balconies and like the colors and the Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Elysees and like I would love to be able to see that once in my life. The other thing though is I want to go to the south of France where like all the countryside is because
vineyards.
beautiful. There's castles down there, and there's just like these scenic routes that you can drive down. And I took French for 4 years in high school, and my French teacher just talked about France like it was the most, like, especially southern France, was like the most beautiful place on the planet. And so ever since then, I've wanted to go. Like my bedroom, a lot of my decorations in there are Paris decorations. I've got some paintings. It's been that way since I was in high school. Like my mom redid my room 1 year for my birthday when I was in high school, and she redid it all Paris themed. And it still kind of is that way to this day because one day I will go there. One day I will, and it'll be fantastic, and I'll love it. And it'll be great. It'll be great. So I really want to go to France.
As I'm sitting here, like trying to think of like my number four, because like I had a rough list in my head, but I keep like coming. I'm like, oh wait, but I also want to go there and there. And how do I make a top five right now?
I know. That's why I had to sit down before we recorded this and like I literally wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and just let them come out of me as they came to my brain because I knew if that's my first instinct, then fine. Like,
If I had more than 10 seconds to think about this at any point during the day, I would have tried. But so I was wrestling with it for a little bit, but so originally my number four, I was gonna say the US Virgin Islands, but I'm actually gonna kind of just move that down with Puerto Rico because they're so close to each other that when I go to Puerto Rico, I'm also planning on going to like just hop on a little plane and hop over to the U.S. Virgin Islands because they look phenomenal and beautiful, and they're so close to Puerto Rico. So my number 4 is Ireland.
I want to go to Ireland so bad.
I want to go to Ireland so bad. I obviously I'm Irish. I'm a lot of things.
Ew.
Crazy's one of them, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Sorry, I just don't feel okay right now. I feel a little loopy. It's been a rough day, but my aunt went to Ireland not that long ago.
Moo.
They have the Highland cows in Ireland. The Highland cows are the ones with the like long horns that point up. They're not super long, and then they have the super fluffy fur that like hangs down in front of their eyes.
I feel like Ireland and Scotland can kind of be like put together. You know, they're like right next to each other. They have a lot of similarities between like the Highlands and the castles, and you know, just how it's beautiful. I mean,
Ireland and Scotland. I think I'm more Scottish.
I'm more Irish.
Don't ask me to have a Scottish accent because that is not going to be well. Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard.
I'm actually like kind of disappointed now that I'm thinking about it because my top 5 travel places are mostly in Europe. So like if I were to think about like so for my 4 that I would say for number 4, I think I do Ireland, Scotland, because this is all going to be one trip for Kaleigh because we're going to do it in one go. Because going along the theme of following in Kaleigh's ancestors, I really want to go to Norway because I'm very Norwegian. Mm-hmm. Very Norwegian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I think.
And then England.
I think I just don't have like South America or Africa on here because right now neither of those places are very safe to travel. Now I would love to go to Peru and see Machu Picchu, and I would love to go to Africa and see how the tribes live and go on a safari, but like that's not very safe. So you'd have to make sure that you planned it all properly and you had a right guide and, you know, you do everything the right way.
It's a little bit harder than hopping on a plane and finding a hotel and going and exploring a city in Europe.
Exactly. So I kind of get why I think we're kind of sticking to one specific part of the world.
Yeah. And then but yeah, so that's my number 4.
You're just taking like a little Western Europe trip. So you've got like
hopefully at some point in my life, because if I don't, I literally don't want to live on this earth anymore.
It's fine. We'll go. We'll plan it and we'll go. Okay, it's gonna happen. My number 3. I chose to be a little more specific because I was trying to list places I've never been before. But my number 3 is the Croatian coast.
Oh.
And I say the coast because I lived in Croatia a couple years ago and I never saw the coast.
That's like sad.
Right? Like it's so sad because the Adriatic Sea is like so beautiful and they've got these caves and they've got this like sea organ down in Zadar, and there's like, if you go down to Split or Dubrovnik, there's like the old town, and you can see where they shot some of like the newer Star Wars trilogy and Wonder Woman and Game of Thrones. And like, you know, it's just older and they've preserved it really well. And it's so cool. But like, I never went. I stayed in the capital of Croatia for the majority of the time I lived there. And if I traveled to any city at all within Croatia, it was just further north. So I never went like over to the side. And then there's another city on the coast that has like an old like Roman Colosseum ruins that you can go like walk through, and it's like right on the water. And I'm like, why did I never go? Like, what the crap? So I really, really want to go to the Croatian coast, especially soon while I still know the language enough to get myself around,
Yeah.
I would love to like go back and just do like a whole coastal trip, because if you go from top to bottom, that's a very, very long drive, but you can hit, there's like cities just all along the way that have something unique or special about them that you would want to stop and see. So I just want to do this whole like essentially just like coastline drive from top to bottom and just see it all.
I think for me, number 3, my number 3 would be Japan. I want to go to Japan and like go to Tokyo and just like be a part of that culture, because like when I think about the Japanese culture, it's just like it seems so amazing and like so beautiful. Not something that I believe I could ever like be a part of, because that's not I don't have a right to, you know.
Yeah, there's
Like,
certain things we don't, necessarily need or want to participate in because we're not
like
ethnically Japanese.
being able to go and just like partake in it and just like witness it and like be able to I want to stand in the great that's in China, never mind. I'm having a seizure. Guys, I am so tired.
It's been a day, y'all. It's been a day.
I wish that's the dumbest thing I've said today. I wish. No, I was thinking about, those videos that you see of people like standing on a wall. And so I was like, the Great Wall. And I was like, wrong. But like, they have like bananas and stuff and the monkeys just like come over. And that seems fun. But also in my head, I'm like, oh, that's terrifying. Yeah. Just the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah.
For real. Yeah, so basically, because we both have Japan on our lists, we need to 120,000,000% go together. Okay?
And our dads. We're bringing dads.
Oh, yeah, we're bringing our dads.
Madison, our podcast takes off. We become rich and famous. We take our dads and us to Japan.
And we do a podcast episode in Japan.
Special episode in Japan. That means we need you guys. Please, please, please share this podcast. We need more listeners. We enjoy doing this so much. And I so hope that some people are finding some kind of joy from this.
Right? Like we try to not edit out anything if we can help it. Like the only time I ever actually edit anything out is if we say someone's name that we shouldn't have said, or we shared information that maybe we can't put on the internet. That's the only thing I edit out. Other than that, like I try to keep all the silly and all the stupid in here, because this is us. This is the real us. Like that, you're just getting what you get.
If you guys didn't watch the Oscar podcast, the last podcast, you guys are for real missing out.
You are missing out on storyteller Kaleigh.
If you truly want to experience how my mind works and who I am, watch that podcast. You will be wildly confused, and that's exactly where I like to keep people.
It's a special, unique insider look into Kaleigh Newland's brain. And
it's just terrifying. Most people don't get that for free.
But it's amazing. It's so great.
Great.
Oh my gosh. So my number 2 at first is not going to make a lot of sense to a whole lot of people, because this is also another place that's kind of dangerous if you're an American tourist. But I want to go to Indonesia.
Ooh.
So my grandfather is from there. And so I've heard, stories about his childhood there, and it wasn't the best. He was born into a concentration camp. So obviously it wasn't the greatest of experiences, but he still talks about how it was beautiful. And so I would just like to go, and they're like a couple decades behind us still, like technologically. And like the women still walk around like topless and like in grass, like skirts and like loincloths and stuff in certain places. Granted, that's like remote, like little tiny village city in Indonesia. Whereas like if you go to Bali, it's a resort. So obviously 99% of the time, it's not even Indonesians.
I want to go to Bali.
Bali would be beautiful. I also just like knowing that like my grandfather grew up in Banyuwangi, East Java, Indonesia.
Can you say that one more time?
Banyuwangi.
Banyuwangi.
It is exactly what it sounds like.
How could you guys blame me for this?
You don't spell it the way you think you spell it, but yeah, I used to giggle as a kid when I'd be like, Opa, tell me where you're from. And he's like, Bangy Wangy. I'm like, you're from where? You're from what? You're from how? And he's like, yep, Bangy Wangy. But when you say it fast, it just sounds like Bangy Wangy, but it's Bangu.
Yeah,
Like
Bangy Wangy.
Bangy
Bangy
Wangy.
Wangy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I would love to go to Indonesia and just kind of understand more of my ancestry and where I came from because I'm not so far removed from that part of it. Obviously, like way down the line, I know I'm related to like French royalty and Russian royalty and all this other stuff, but like I'm not as connected to it because it's not so in my face. But like with my Irish descent and my Indonesian descent that and my Dutch descent, it's all right there because it's my grandparents.
Yeah.
It's the people I grew up with. It's the people I know. And so I would love, I'm super into family history too and genealogy. So I would absolutely love to just be able to go and experience what that is like and what it looks like, and what it sounds like and feels like, and just like the food. And like I've had some food growing up for sure because my grandpa would make it for us, but like how
It's
cool would
not
that
the
be?
same.
You know, like how cool would it be to just be able to go and step and in a sense feel like home for a second, you know, like
Yeah.
maybe if you don't have a direct connection to it, sure, but like knowing that that's where my grandpa started his life is like beyond cool. So I'm like, can we go? But then like
Yeah.
it's not super safe to go anywhere in Indonesia outside of Bali, so generally people don't, but
I
who knows, one day.
I was at work today and my coworker, she like pulled up her pant leg because we were sitting out in the sun and she goes, oh, wait, I need a tan. And I said, watch this though, and pulled mine up and she was like, it's blinding me. I was like, look, I'm very European and I love that. I love knowing who I am and where I'm from. And that's just how I ended up like the whitest person I think anyone has ever laid their eyes on who cannot tan, because I'm from Norwegian descent. I'm like from like one of my great grandfathers is a Norwegian king. One of my great grandmothers is Queen Elizabeth. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Scandinavian, like this,
through
this,
and
this.
through.
So I'm like, I'm not Italian because Italians can tan and they look really nice. I am like the whitest of the white people. They said mix it all together in a pot and you get splotches of tan on your face, but they don't really do much.
Like, you know, like the movie Frozen. I mean, I'm sure you all all of you know what the movie Frozen is. When I think of Kaleigh sometimes, I straight up think of Anna.
Bro,
Like
I
100%.
I posted on my Instagram when I went to like the ice palace and I was like standing in the ice palace and I was like with Olaf and I was like, this is my petition to play Anna in the live action Frozen. I would be the perfect candidate.
Like it's a Norwegian story and you are Norwegian, so why not?
Bro, like could you imagine just my hair like this in two little braids? I have the freckles, they're natural.
You have the face structure though, like even the nose, like you really do like legit look like Anna. So
for the first time in forever. That's what I'm feeling right now. There'll be music, there'll be lights.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 is, and hear me out because I'm going to group 2 places together, but because when I think of one, I always think of the other. I want to go to Sicily, Italy, and Rome and Greece.
So you want to go to Italy and Greece?
Yes.
You can go between the two via the Adriatic Sea via a boat. So that's not too hard to do.
When I think of Sicily, Italy, like I just imagine like doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo. Sicily, I'm thinking of the wrong one.
What do you think?
No, I'm thinking of Sicily because Sicily is really pretty, but I'm also thinking of Venice because Venice has all the waterways and everything.
Oh yes, Venice has the waterways and the boats and the gondolas. and
Yes.
whatnot.
So I love Venice for that. And obviously, like, I think that that's like so romantic, but also like Sicily, Italy is just like a gorgeous, gorgeous place. And I had a cousin that was able to go because she like was in an exchange program and oh, so gorgeous. And then I want to live out my Mamma Mia dream.
Stop it. I was just about to say I want to go to Greece so that I can like live out my Mamma Mia dreams. And it like I was listening to the Mamma Mia 2 soundtrack on my way home from work today. And I just like Super Trooper came on and I was like, Super Trooper, like they're gonna blind me. And I just started dancing and I was like, I need to go to Greece so that I can like
Greece,
basically perform the Mamma Mia soundtrack.
Just imagine Kaleigh like in these biker shorts, right? Oversized white t-shirt with pretty like houses on it or whatever. I'm actually picking real clothes from my closet. Actually, this is an outfit I actually wore recently in Texas, but like let's imagine it in Greece with just like some cutie little sandals on, like my little Birkenstocks, have my hair up in like a high bun, pieces falling out, sunglasses, walking through Greece.
See, that's what you're thinking. I'm thinking I've got these high-waisted jean shorts that aren't actually jeans, and they're like flowier, you know, with like this cute,
like the chambray.
Yeah, like that. And I've got like this cute, like crop tank top, bralette, lace thing, majig bob with like oversized button up undone, and then high top Converse because that's who I am. So, you know.
We went in totally different directions, but imagine us together in those outfits walking in Greece, arms linked, no holding hands. We have linked arms.
We'd be unstoppable and all the Greek men would fall in love with us.
Look like pristine gentlemen.
100%.
And that is how we make the Greek gentlemen then fall in love with us because we are unstoppable. And it is single sister season in Greece.
Yes, it is. So basically, we're going to go to Greece when you graduate college and live out our Mamma Mia.
Graduation trip, Greece.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we'll have to go up and hit Croatia too.
I'm getting my passport in the next couple months.
Yay, be prepared to pay a lot of money for it.
I am. My parents give me a lot of money for my taxes. So
that's nice. When I paid for my passport, it cost me $250.
Yeah, that's about how much I'm expecting to pay. Now, it would only be like $150 if I didn't want it expedited, but homie needs it sooner.
Get it expedited. Yeah, just go ahead.
I'm trying to take a trip out of the country this summer with Olivia. Yeah. And when I say out of the country, don't think anywhere exotic. We're planning on going to Canada.
Well, Canada's not my number one. Sorry, okay, Canada.
But we're thinking about going to Banff.
Banff. Oh, Banff is beautiful. Oh my gosh. That's going to be great.
I'm not saying it.
It's going to be great.
We were talking to my friend Bryce yesterday. We're like, Banff. And he goes, Banff? And I was like, no.
Banff. With an F. Double F, actually.
Okay, I'm going to sneak in here real quick, and I'm just going to say my number one real quick, because we don't really have to talk about it, because we already kind of did, and it's Paris.
That's your number one?
I've literally, since I was the littlest girl, I'm like, I want to go to Paris. I want to see the Eiffel Tower. I want a man with a bouquet of flowers in one hand and a baguette in the other hand, kneeling in front of me, begging me to marry him. And maybe there's a chocolate croissant involved, but I'm really thinking like baguette is better. Baguette,
but also
bouquet of flowers.
Yes, but also he needs to be wearing a black and white striped shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna go for the whole vibe, just like go for the whole vibe.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want him to look like a mime. Like, I'm okay with like a beret maybe, or like a fancy like French hat. But I don't really like the idea of a black and white striped shirt.
Then we'll put him in a white button up.
Yes, but also give him, okay, wait, hear me out. Give him he's muscled, right? Obviously.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Has a white tank on, and when I say white tank, I'm thinking of like a wife beater, which I hate the name of them, but when people say that, we all think of the same thing. And just like a like long sleeved white button up that's like rolled up,
Ooh.
flowing hair, baguette. Okay, it's
Baguette.
more important than the
And the
bouquet of
flowers.
flowers. I love me some bread. And then out of his back pocket, he pulls out a small batch jam for the baguette.
Amazing.
Homemade butter whipped.
Amazing. Beautiful.
And I'm gonna be like, thank you so much. And then I will take the baguette, the butter, and the jam, and I'll be like, it was nice to meet you, and then walk away.
So what you're saying is I need to help orchestrate all this?
This is my this has been my dream since I was a young little lad.
Okay. Then I will make sure I take note and do what I can. Well, okay.
I want to hear yours.
My number one also we have talked about already.
New York City.
No, New York City is actually my number 6. And the only reason it's not in my top 5 is because it's in the States.
Okay, that's me too. I literally didn't want to mention it.
Like, it's easier for me to get there.
I didn't want to mention it because it's in the States, but like that's my number 6 too. Like if I could add one more to the list, it would be
New York City. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. So, what do you think my number 1 is? If we've already talked about it.
Ireland.
Bingo. Ireland is my number 1.
Like, yep. Ireland, I bet you it's her number 1. I did know. Oh,
yeah.
Girl.
Ireland 100% is my number 1. And my grandma's Irish. And I just, like, I dye my hair red, you guys. Like, I feel like I'm meant to be like 100% just like pale skin, hazel eyes, red hair, like the whole thing.
But that's actually my brother.
Really?
Like my little brother has like brown hair like me, but he has like such a red tint to it. Mm-hmm. And like he's got the freckles and he's like just a pale little white boy. Unfortunately, he does have blue eyes though, not hazel.
But that's okay.
But that's my little Irish boy brother with you. Yeah. You can like skip along the path.
Like I would just love to go and hear the music that they play and like go
teach
walk
me how to do the cool dances
in like the old towns and do like the river dancing and like all of that would be so amazing because it's so different from what we're used to here in the States that it's like a whole
hillside, the rolling hills, the goats that are everywhere.
Right.
You can just like drive and there's just like a yak. A yak.
That would be
those.
Like that'd be so amazing to just be able to experience something like that. And like right now,
theologically, is a yak correct? What am I thinking of?
I think so.
Okay. If it's not, don't make fun of me. Okay, but you can also bully me. It's fine. I understand. I also did say the Great Wall of China while talking about Japan earlier. So it's warranted. Again, it's been a long day.
It's been one of those days, but you know, we've got all these amazing bucket list items and it's going to be so great when we finally get to check them off.
Together.
You know, the thing that got me through this long day, to be real with you, is my song of the week.
Oh, tell me, I want to hear it.
My song of the week is by someone you're going to see in concert.
Tate McRae, Chaotic.
Yes.
Bro, I literally love that song so much. Guys.
So
Tate
good.
McRae, I cannot recommend her more as an artist. She is just so phenomenal, and I count myself so lucky. In 1 week, Kaleigh gets to go see her live.
Yeah.
And I'm unbelievably stoked.
It's going to be so great. Like, I'm so jealous. I would love to have seen her in concert.
I get to meet her also.
Oh my gosh. That's going to be so good. That's going to be so good.
I'm going to cry. Her tickets were $25. And then for the VIP package, it was an extra $75.
Yeah, that's like $100 total to me.
So I paid $25, and then for Christmas, my parents got me the VIP package. That is actually worth it because it also, you get a beanie, a laminated lanyard, that has like the cool pass on it, and you get
Yeah.
first entrance into the venue.
Which means you're gonna be like up front, sis. Like up front.
I'm getting there early to get a spot
Good.
for me and my friend.
Good.
I'm gonna be by myself until she's done hiking with her family, and then she's gonna meet me. She's gonna be hiking the entire week. And then I was like, homie, you're gonna be a little stanky stink, aren't you? And she's like, yeah, unfortunately. I was like, oh boy.
Oh, what's your
Okay.
song of the week?
My song of the week is actually by an artist who I haven't really been into more recently in my life, but he just dropped an absolute banger. And it's, just a heartbreak song. And it's When You're Gone by Shawn Mendes.
Oh,
Because homie is going through it and I feel it, but I also did not like him with Camila, and I just didn't like his music while they were together.
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. No,
And
no hate to Camila Cabello, like no hate to her, but like them together.
I'm not her biggest fan.
I didn't love his music when he was with her.
And then they broke up and he just drops this, and I'm just like,
Okay.
hold on, no.
Yep, pretty much. So that concludes our first episode of our bucket list series. We're going to have a couple more episodes like this where we talk about other bucket list items of ours, like bucket list careers, bucket list this, bucket list that, books, movies, whatever. And so this is the conclusion of episode 1, bucket list travel locations. Please go follow us on Instagram at dearbestfriend_MK. Find us on Facebook at our Dear Best Friend page. Find us on TikTok at dearbestfriend_MK. We have a website dropping soon. I am finishing that up this weekend. I'm so excited about it because I put a lot of time into it, and I know it's.
She really has, you guys. When I say I've been MIA, I just want you to know that Madison has put in so much work over the last week while I've just been frolicking around.
I just not to merch, you guys.
Die. She has merch set up. All of these amazing Instagram posts that I absolutely love, done by her. Hopefully I can be a little less useless and a little more useful soon. But guys, I literally am going through it. But it's coming up on what I like to call Hot Girl Summer Single Sister Season. Single Sister Season. Are you guys ready to experience this with us? Because the content and the unbelievable fire we will be releasing, you want to be a part of it.
Also, we haven't talked about this yet, and I'm not going to share all the details, but you guys are going to want to pay attention this summer because we may or may not do a vlog together in person. You'll have to continue to follow us to see what happens this summer. Guys, but it's exciting, and you're gonna want to pay attention.
It's almost been a year since me and Mads have seen each other in person.
Yep. Beginning of June last year was the last time we saw each other in person.
This time last year, Kaleigh was really going through it, and around this time, Madison said and kidnapped me for about 4 months.
Yep. Well, and you know what we did a year ago next week?
What?
We went to Florida. We took our trip.
So I literally have been thinking about that, and I want to go to Florida so bad. My aunt is headed down to the Florida Keys right now.
Oh my goodness. I live so close to the Keys.
Absolutely jealous. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you with all of our hearts. All of them. Not even like little pieces, like all of it.
The whole thing. All of my insides.
Yeah.
I love you with all of my insides.
I love you with all of my insides. Guys, please share, post, share with the people you love. If this resonates with you at all, share the love. We're here for love.
Please. And keep your eyes out for our website drop and our merch drop and all of that good stuff. Please DM us on Instagram with any topic or conversation ideas that you would love to be a part of, or anyone you think we should have as a guest on the podcast, and we will try our best to get them on here. So let us know.
we do have some people in mind that we're thinking about popping on here soon, but we got to work that out. But
Yep. We love you guys. Thank
love
you
you.
for the continued support, and we will chat with you soon. Bye, besties.
Only the best.